I'm Linda Spiro. I'm co-chair of the Fondren Activities and Events Committee. And I'd like to thank the other co-chairs, John Hunter. John really helped with organizing and getting everything ready. And Jeff Koppler, would you mind standing? And Jeff did a beautiful program.
Okay, I'd like to thank Linda for her help in organizing this and join her in welcoming you all here today. And I'm just really pleased that our Staff Association's Activities and Events Committee put this together, had the idea for this. I've gotten some emails from other people on campus that they thought this was just such a great idea. So I was really pleased about that. And I'm also amazed at what a talented group of people we have who work here in the library. It seems like, working at Rice is sort of how they earn their money, but then they have all these other talents that they can pursue after their work hours are finished. So I'm glad that we're all here to enjoy those today.
Hours, and then decided that the threat of attack was over, and everyone except for a few sentries went to bed. At around midnight, Sarah sat up and shook Reuben awake. Josiah is still alive, Reuben. I saw him in a dream, sitting next to a live oak tree. He's hurt. He's been scalped, but he's alive.
The agreement they reached owes nothing to the desire for harmony, much to the draft in the hallway. 3 hours in the morning for Mozart and Puccini, 1 hour in the evening for whatever's left, but no piano. The landlord watches her go up the stairs, barefoot and classy, in the coat she says is a gift from Moscow. And which Moscow would that be? He thinks, but doesn't ask.
Watch my own breath scream at the cold. I want to feel the weight of gravity pulling at my bones. I want to scream into the yellow confinements of this room and smell the mildew of the floorboards. I want to fall until the ground's existence gives way to eternity and float through the timeless weightlessness of space.
This is a scene from Chapter 8. Wade, spellright, ran toward the train, holding the ticket so fresh that the ink had not yet dried. He heard the locomotive's iron heart pounding, steam pressure building up in the boiler. Like Wade, the locomotive was eager to be on the move.
Tables. I'm going to introduce the artists and crafts people and ask them to stand as I call their names. And the first three are actually going to share a little bit about their work. Okay, Sarah Bentley. Sarah is the Circulation Reserves Coordinator for the library. She'll display one of her watercolor quilts and demonstrate how to make one. Sarah will also discuss how she got her inspiration for this piece from a library book. Sarah?
This is called a watercolor quilt. I've made several. I've been quilting for about 15 years. One of the interesting things about the watercolor quilt is it requires that you collect a different kind of fabric. And sometimes I introduce myself, hello, my name is Sarah, and I am a fabricaholic. But this is my inspiration. Alice Frank is an oil painter. She paints, this is one of her paintings that was inspired by Monet, and I copied it in fabric. And the name of this piece is Show Me the Monet, Alice Frank. And this is just a little exhibit of the technique that you lay it out on point, and then you sew the strips together, and then you make it into strips, and then you sew the strips together. And this is just an example of a miniaturization technique that I invented from doing the larger pieces.
Next, we have Amanda Foke. Amanda is the assistant head of special collections, and she will demonstrate book binding. Amanda's been interested in the many and various structures of books for years and has practiced making blank books for about 10 years. Just this year, she's decided to add content to her books. She's made 3 small editions of books so far, using her book cradle, book press, and other tools at home. She'll display from the Log of Independence, written and illustrated by John Foke, edited and hand-bound by Amanda Foke, 2011. This is copy 1 of 5. Amanda?
So, as Sarah was saying, I've been making blank books for quite a while, and I decided it was time to put some content in there. And so I asked the people in my family to tell me some favorite stories. And so I have stories from my parents, my in-laws, my brothers, and I'm hoping to get some more people in the family. But this one is from the Log of the Independence. It's my father-in-law's story of a sailboat that he built in their driveway when his sons, my husband and my brother-in-law, were kids. And so it's all of the pictures from the time and text from his ship's log and his drawings. And so he gave it to me in emails, and I put it together. I had it printed at copy.com because my printer at home doesn't print 11 by 17. And so then I nestled it into 4 groups of paper, 4 signatures. I used my book cradle here to punch the holes, and I pressed it nice and flat with my book press here. And so for all of these, I make copies for each of my daughters. I make a copy for the storyteller and a copy for my husband and I to keep. So that's how it usually adds up to about 5. And that's what I do with them. The other stories I've done this year, one was from my mother. It was called All You Need to Know. Life lessons from my mom. And then my husband is in the middle of writing one called Squirrel Head Gumbo. That's it. Thanks.
Next Amanda, we have Kim Williams. And Kim is a library receiving clerk who loves to spend time in national parks, beaches, and wildlife refuges. She enjoys observing and capturing flora and fauna on film, and we'll share some sample photographs. So be sure to stop by and look at Kim's photographs. And next we have our group of the Fondren knitters. Friday we have lunch once a week to share knitting secrets. Next to the knitters, we have some oil portraits from Erin McAfee, Senior User Services Associate, who's worked at Fondren since 1997. In the last few months, she started doing portraiture studies with the help of models Rochelle Herbst from the Circulation Department and Dr. Michael Adair Chris. And Erin works mostly at night, so she's not here during the day, but please take a look at her work. And then up here, we have Mike Vessels. In addition to serving as library receiving coordinator for standing orders, Mike is an artist and filmmaker. His art installation today, entitled Failed Westerns, is a peek at an abbreviated version of a larger planned installation of assorted paintings, props, and set pieces used or inspired by his 4th art house film work entitled Das Vidania, John Wayne. Both the film and installation refer to the failed mythos of West and the latent critique of the Western hero as rugged individualist, as Mike understands and interprets it. The film will be available for viewing at his display station, so please be sure to take a look at Mike's video film here. And then at 3 p.m. we'll be serving desserts soon after in the Love Lounge, supplied by the following library staff who are known for making desserts that keep people asking for more. We've got Mary Brower, music librarian, Diane Butler, assistant university librarian for IT, Geneva Henry, executive director of the Center for Digital Scholarship, Melinda Flannery, assistant university librarian for technical services, Linda Spiro, Government Information Librarian, and Ollie Solomon, Systems Administrator 1. One of the bakers all stand up. We'll give them a hand.